Hello, I'm David, and this is Murray.
Hi. Before we go on to the meat of the stories from the last couple of months in Scottish referendum politics, here's a couple of stories that you might have missed.
Yes, here's Labour's Jim Murphy sticking the boot into the SNP and their negative campaigning.
So lacking in confidence in their own argument, they've retreated into, if you don't like the Tories, vote for independence. It's a ludicrous, desperate politics.
Damn right, Jim. It is ludicrous and it is desperate to ask the electorate to only vote for you to keep out the Tory party.
3, 2, 1.
That is
Ludicrous
very
and desperate.
It truly is. It truly is. But moving on, the Yes campaign has one huge central policy, which is childcare, but that will cost £700 million. And there have been questions asked about how that will be funded. But the BBC's Gary Robertson may have gotten to the bottom of this.
Alex Salmond has got the money. It's in the Barnett formula. He has the investment he could make, but he's falling behind. He's lagging behind the rest of the UK.
So he has £700 million that he's secreting somewhere.
Wait a minute.
What did he say?
Yeah, play it again.
So he has £700 million that he's secreting somewhere.
The First Minister is secreting £700 million.
A gross but useful skill.
It's a hell of a financial brown hole.
Okay, right, well.
Let's
move on.
That's quite a golden shower.
Yeah, let's move on.
You know, that's money that don't need laundered. Baha! Moho. I love a good pun. Anyway, the first major story we have to cover. This demonstrates the problems with covering current affairs, because when this first story originally came out, the end of January or so, we thought it was funny. It was a story to cover. But since then, current affairs have overtaken us. And because we were going to make a joke about how Putin dealt with separatists, which
it's just terrifying now, really, isn't it? I mean, we can't do any jokes about Putin throwing separatists in jail. No. I mean, it's a shame. I don't think we can even really use this picture of a dog that looks like Vladimir Putin anymore.
No,
it's just completely inappropriate now.
Yeah,
with everything that's going on in the Ukraine.
So, I feel uncomfortable about covering this.
Let's move on as quickly as possible.
Yeah. So, here's Andrew Marr.
Perhaps you could invite the Scots to join your new customs union.
I wouldn't rule that out.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Okay. We've set off the bloody vote no alarm.
Not again.
I told you we should have just left this issue completely alone. I mean, we're supposed to be bipartisan. No, let's just switch that off. Let's move on. Let's move on to something far more lighthearted and jovial.
Yeah, cheer me up, Dave.
Currency union. Who doesn't like the currency union?
Oh yeah, I love that shit.
But it's a confusing business, Scots. I mean, on one hand, you've got Alex Salmond saying that it's in the best interests of Scotland and the rest of the UK, but then you've got Ed Balls saying that it's not going to happen. You've got Nicola Sturgeon saying it would benefit the UK.
A number of times I've had my balls say it's not going to happen. Anyway, sorry.
You've got George Osborne saying that it's not going to happen. Swinney saying yes. Danny Alexander saying no. And then you've got the deputy leader of the Scottish Conservatives, Jackson Carlow, saying that it would be rational and sensible. But then you've got Jackson Carlow, the deputy leader of the Scottish Conservatives, saying that he firmly believes it's not going to happen. And as you can see, on the day that all three pro-union parties ruled out the currency union, the odds on Scotland using the pound after independence are 1-3.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Thank you.
Never was a truer word said.
Well, somebody from the Scottish political past entered the Scottish political present recently, when former First Minister Jack McConnell finally entered the independence debate by suggesting that during the Commonwealth Games, perhaps we shouldn't do any politics, which of course is a ridiculous idea, because it's a month before the actual vote, the biggest decision, electoral decision, political decision that Scotland's had in a generation. And to suggest that we should just stop talking about it for 2 weeks during the Commonwealth Games is ridiculous, because for Christ's sake, we don't even have a curling team.
Do you know who I love?
What planet is he on?
Love.
Who?
Lord Flashheart.
All right, men, let's do it! The first thing to remember is always treat your kite like you treat your woman. How do you mean, sir? Do you mean take her home at the weekend to meet your mother? No, I mean get inside her 5 times a day and take her to heaven and back.
Classic. I love Lord Flashheart.
Look, Dave, I love Lord Flashheart as much as you do, but this is highly unprofessional. You know, we shouldn't be. Listen, we do not show YouTube clips as for the benefit
for cheap gags.
Yeah, as part of the show.
I know
and that's not important. Can
I know
we
that's
get
not
back
what we
to
do.
Scottish politics?
I know that's not what we do, but it just when you were mentioning Jack McConnell there, it just got me thinking that Scotland has a Lord Flashheart of its very own.
Amazing talent that exists in Scotland, and about our ability to invite the world, give them a good time, and send them away thinking positive thoughts.
I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I've got the look, the drive to go wild. I've got the move that really move 'em. I said chill up and down their spine. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy.
Why is Jack popping up now? I hope that when he goes home tonight that Mrs. Bridget O'Connell, who's on the Glasgow 2014 board, will be waiting with a frying pan to clout him round the luck hole.
Anyway, sorry, you were saying something about the Commonwealth Games. Carry on.
You've pretty much blown my train of thought there, Dave. I want to thank you for that. Anyway, let's move on. There's somebody else entered the Indie Ref debate that was unexpected. I wonder if you can tell who it is.
And Scotland, stay with us.
BuzzFeed. Yes, it's BuzzFeed. And for anybody that hasn't read BuzzFeed or encountered it before, don't bother. This is around the story of David Bowie entering the Indie Ref debate and basically the abuse he got from certain people on the internet. For example, the number one person that BuzzFeed fingers is Sleepy Dumpling. And he says, David Bowie, you're a cunt. That's enough of that. Stay out of Scottish politics. You're English. And you can't even stay in your place of birth. And you want us to bed down with him. Stick your Brit up your arse. I'm raging about this. I'll never buy another Bowie album. I feel so bad about it, I may never download any of his music from the Pirate Bay. Even for free again. Wee skinny bastard.
Good evening. A daily injection of poison into the well of Scottish public life. That's how one commentator described the regular abuse used in online political debate.
Yes, pro-independence online people who post abusive comments have been dubbed cybernats, and they've been roundly criticised in the media and by politicians. Jim Murphy, for example, tears into the Twitter trolls and their bucket load of personal bile, and he's absolutely right. It's far more civilised to collar someone in the corridors of Parliament and scream "fuck off, fuck off, fuck off" in their face than it is to post quick Twitter comments.
Well, I mean, to be fair to the MP that represents Paisley, that's the way a real man does it.
Quite right.
Yes,
quite
good
right.
on you, Jim Murphy. The Daily Mail took up the cudgels against the cybernats by unmasking some of them. They showed this tweet, which is to an SNP councillor, saying, "Is there anyone you don't like? Fred West, Harold Shipman, Anna Sarwar." Now let me explain that the brackets put in at this point were actually the brackets put in by the Scottish Daily Mail explaining who Anna Sarwar was. Now that's pretty depressing for the Scottish Deputy Labour leader. The Scottish Daily Mail considers him to be less popular than two 90s serial killers. So it got us thinking, didn't it, Dave? That,
it did,
that maybe there must be something that Anna Sarwar can be known for.
One talent I do have, I'm actually a dentist.
He's a dentist.
That's pretty good. That's
pretty
not
good,
bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add, Anis?
I'm now heading to the all-party parliamentary group on credit unions. I wish I was going to lie in the sun, but unfortunately not.
Oh, he's joking. He must be joking. He's joking, of course. He's joking. Don't. As we can see from these UK dental health statistics, Annis represents Glasgow, and they're second bottom.
He wasn't kidding.
No, he is actually a terrible, terrible dentist. Anyway,
inspired by the Daily Mail, I conducted a cybernet hunt of my own, and I found this tweet from a chap called Chris Deering, inviting the former First Minister Henry McLeish to fuck off. And
can you invite somebody to fuck off?
Chris Deering can.
Anyway, yeah, that's disgraceful. But this name Chris Deering rings a bell.
Really?
Yeah. Where is it from? Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Scottish Daily Mail. He's a columnist for the Scottish.
In that case, I won't bother reporting him to the Scottish Daily Mail as a cybernet, because they'll be well aware of him already.
Yeah, well, exactly. But this is the thing. This goes back to what we said about during the Putin part of the show, which was that events overtake our writing, because there's Chris Deering. He's talking about he wish he could swear because and to add a caption to this, what I would say, Dave, is a particularly cheesy selfie type photograph released by the Scottish Government Cabinet. But we thought this happened the night before our stand show on the 26th of March. And we thought we'd just mention to Chris that actually you don't seem to have any problem with swearing on Twitter, and he said he actually got a row from that for that.
Oh well, that's something.
Yeah, and he didn't make it clear whether it was his editor or his mother who gave him the row, but
as long as someone gave him a row.
Well, that's it.
As long as these cybernets are being punished.
He learnt his lesson, which is good.
Finally this week, there's been some disgruntlement at the amount of money that politicians are spending on portraits of each other.
How much money are they spending on money?
They spend far too much money on money.
Damn it. That's a bit of a they do too much fucking quantitative easing. Well, in there, Dave. That's
a bit too deep.
For Christ's sake. First the currency union, now the
currency union.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Here, for example, is a rendering of Diane Abbott, apparently done just moments after she was dredged from the canal.
She's rendered every night.
And one man who's no stranger to a political portrait is the Scottish artist Peter Howson. Here is his painting of a nude Madonna apparently taking a shit in a graveyard, and he was asked on Scotland Tonight if he'd consider entering the political portrait game.
I've always wanted to paint Alex Salmond, actually, not in the nude, but I would like to paint, maybe in the nude, I don't know, I'm not sure, I just
No!